I don't want you to get bogged down in the robustness and challenge section of the paper. Life is short and so are assignments. Instead, I want you to focus on the section about magisterial and ministerial reason. Because here's where he really gets into the status of the arguments and the role they play in philosophy of religion, or should play. So let's have a look at magisterial use of reasoning first. What do natural theological arguments do? This is not a trick question. If they are sound, which means, remember, that the argument is valid and the premise is true, then they appear to show that God exists. They provide, as Tobiah puts it, evidence, justification, or proof of God's existence. That's pretty big. They do it all by themselves. We can see that this understanding of their role is fairly widespread because of the amount of time and effort that goes into showing they're not sound. Roughly, the counterclaim is that we don't have evidence, justification, or proof of God's existence because they're bad arguments. Clearly, the arguments are meant to do something at a level above religious commitment. Non-theists are meant to be influenced by them. This is a magisterial use of reason. Craig puts it like this: reason stands over and above the gospel and judges it like a magistrate on the basis of argument and evidence. If this is the right interpretation of the argument's role, then the results are a worry. Either the theists are getting carried away when they shouldn't be, or the atheists are immune to them when they shouldn't be. Prior religious beliefs are distorting the analysis. How about thinking of their role as ministerial? This makes reason a tool, in Craig's words, to better understand and defend faith. Plenty of philosophers do see them in this servant role. Oppie thinks they come from considerations entirely internal to the theistic worldview, and that's not meant to be a compliment. More positively, some theistic philosophers, including Plantinga, say outright that the arguments are not meant as proofs of God's existence. They just show that it's rational to accept the conclusion. So I suggest we might think of them as having a role to play in helping people within theism to think clearly. And if they are exercises in ministerial reasoning, the results are less of a worry. But for Tobiah, one concern remains. If philosophers want to claim that the results show ministerial reasoning, and that's all right, they cannot also use the arguments to support magisterial conclusions. Like, God exists. That's an inappropriate inference from inside a worldview to the whole of the outside. Tobiah is right to be concerned because the status of the arguments is often ambiguous. We're not sure quite how we're meant to take them, and the philosophers putting them forward don't always make their intentions clear. But if they are in support of magisterial conclusions that everyone should take seriously, philosophers need to improve their analysis so that they are genuinely independent evaluations. Arguments stand or fall on their own merits, not on the background beliefs of their evaluator. If they are ministerial conclusions, who should be taking them seriously? everyone